Hello and what is up YouTube? My name is G3Iron, and every year about this time of year I like to ask the question, how fast is fast? And one of the ways that we measure what is actually fast is we do Blood Aqueducts Racing, and I am very pleased to announce that we're doing something different with Blood Aqueducts Racing this year, which is we are opening it up and making it a community contest to see who can come up with the fastest Blood Aqueducts racer. Now, if you've never watched one of our Blood Aquas races in the past, there are going to be some guidelines, and you're probably wondering, well, what the heck is Blood Aquas Racing? Well, we've got details on a Patreon post that you can go read and sort through all of the details. Of course, if you've got questions, you can leave me a comment on the video here, or you can send me an email to the email information down below in the video description. But basically what Blood Aqueducts Racing is this. It is not how fast can you get to Blood Aqueducts. It's not like a community race as you would traditionally assume with Blood Aqueducts being the end of the race, but rather it's take any build that you want and make that build go as quickly as it can from the waypoint in the Act 9 Blood Aqueducts instance of a Path of Exile game, and go from the waypoint to Highgate as quickly as you can. You're allowed to use whatever gear you want. You're allowed to use whatever build, whatever character class, whatever ascendancy that you want. Get from the waypoint to Highgate as fast as you can. The 4 fastest times will, in this particular case, be featured in a video upcoming. We did this a year ago and we showed off 4 different sorts of builds. You can see those builds in the video being played right now in a replay above my slightly balding forehead. And of course, we had some sub 20-second times even come in with a couple of different builds that we were able to put together, and that was very, very fun. But in the past, I've been the one piloting those builds, and we all know this. If you've ever watched me or said anything about my mechanical play, it is not exceptional. My micro is terrible. If you've ever played League of Legends with me as a teammate, I officially apologize. I'm sorry. My micro is atrocious. So what can we do if one of you, as the community members, are actually piloting these racers rather than an ancient boomer like myself that's terrible with micro? How fast could you possibly go? Well, there's a couple of different rules for this particular race. So the first rule is to race from the waypoint to Highgate in Blood Aqueducts. The 4 fastest times will be showcased. So you've got to go from waypoint to Highgate. No going from Highgate to the waypoint. That doesn't work. You may use any gear in any league. So if you want to do this in standard, go right ahead. If you've got a Legacy Queen of the Forest that you want to use in standard, go right ahead. If you want to try this in solo self-found because you've got gear there, go right ahead. You can do that. You may only use one character per race, right? So you can't party up and use, let's say, a support character to push you to even greater speeds. You only can use one character at a time, no use of a second account to boost your speeds. Then if you want to submit a time, you need to include the following in an email to us right here, goodguygaming3@gmail.com. You need to include your Discord handle, your video link. It needs to be either like a Twitch clip or a video on demand with timestamps included. Please don't send me an 8-hour stream with no timestamps. I'm not going to be able to find your race in it. So include those timestamps, or you can do it as a YouTube video with timestamps. Your video then must also include your gameplay of racing through the Blood Aquas, and you need to use a live split timer displayed in your video. We actually showcase that in several of our races featured above. That's what the timer that was going off in the other videos in the previous races looks like. If you've never used live split before, you can go to the following link, livesplit.org, and simply download it there. Then lastly, I of course personally reserve the right for any reason whatsoever to make fun of, laugh at, weep, and or obnoxiously disqualify any submission for any reason I so desire. If you've got any questions, you can feel free to drop them below as a comment, or you can send them to my email. This is something that we love to do as a community. That's just fun to see how quickly we can go. How fast is fast? So with all of that being said, our 4 fastest racers that we tried last time were a Leap Slam Raider Ranger, an Oxium Reverse Chill Ranger Pathfinder, a Flame Dash Necro, and then a Body Swap Poet's Pen. Those were the 4 that we came up with and tested, and the fastest one actually ended up being the Reverse Chill character, which could definitely go sub 20 seconds if it was a better pilot other than myself running it. And then of course the Raider or leap slam raider that was actually surprisingly fast. Like several times as I was leap slamming through on that particular build, I still remember that I hiccuped on a lot of the different turns that you have to make through Blood Aqueducts. You might think of Blood Aqueducts as being like this single strip straightaway, but believe it or not, there's actually a couple of turns and twists that I had on that particular run. So some commonly asked questions that I've already bumped into. Well, Iron, what about different lengths of instances? What if one player submits a racing build that's just got a better looking instance than somebody else? That's up to you. You can do whatever you want. You can keep generating instances in Blood Aqueducts until you're happy with like the shortest instance you can find. You don't need to kill any monsters, so those of you that are wondering, well, hey, do we need to clear the entire instance? No, that is not a requirement. If your build kills stuff in the instance, that's great. If your build doesn't kill stuff in the instance, that's great. We don't care. We just want to see who can go the fastest from the waypoint to Highgate. So what are you waiting for? Go get racing. Hurry up and send those races and those videos in. I want to see what we can come up with together as a community. And if you've got more questions, or of course you just want to see what last year's race looked like, then of course last year's video will be linked down below in the video description. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing how fast is fast, and hopefully maybe a Mirror of Calandra will drop for you while you're racing through the Blood Aqueducts. Thanks for watching that video. If you'd like more information on any of our discussion points today, you can see them down below in the video description. If you'd also like to join our Discord or support our Patreon, you can do so with the links down below. Thanks again, and big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters.